So last time we have finished with this read data. Let me start again. So you need to make the shell. Yeah, for now I will just use the shell to do this part. Okay, so I can call again what we already have the models, and we are going to import the question and choice. You can see in the right part, you can see that now we are making the choice and the questions active. Active means I can use this information in our console. Okay? So you can see what kind of query that you can use. Okay? So here you can have the primary key. Yeah, you can have the what is the object. Okay, so you can see everything here. And yeah, I'm using this time zone before. Let me just use this time zone. Now, I would like to continue what we already did last time. So we already have the question, objects, filter, and I want to see if ID equals to 1. Then the ID equals to 1 is the where is neighbor. If you want to check on your database, last time we already have this question. Yeah, we have 3 data. Okay, the first is where is neighbor, second is what's up, and the third is what's your favorite pet. And yeah, you can also have the question dot objects dot filter pk equals to 1. So primary key equals to 1, ID equals to 1. Yeah, it's the same. Yeah. And if you want to get the result, whenever you have any string and you want to check whether the text is starting with any kind of query. So here, question means we want to get the question. This one is question text. Okay, this is the attribute name, and then you can continue with underline. There is a built-in function. So some built-in function, for example, starts with, contains. They are trying to get the query from the users. Let's say I'm having the query of what? It will show every question text and the text contain what? Sorry, this one is starting. Okay, starts with. So we want to get every text which starts with what? And then if you want to change to contain like this one, it means I have the question text, and I hope that the text contain head, it's 80. Then everything which contain head, it will appear on your query result. If you want to check all the values, then you will see all the values from every of this data. You will see the ID number and what is the question text, what is the publication date. And Yeah, there are some kind of information like the time zone, and also this is the date time related with the month, date, time. And if you want to specify only a particular attribute that you want to show, so I want to get the result and I want to specify the values. I want to see only ID and question text. So I will just see the ID and question text. Okay. ID and question text. And the format is in the form of dictionary. If I want to see the text, if I want to see the ID and where the ID is the index 1 and 3. So this is the ID 1, where is neighbor, and ID 3, what is your favorite pet? It will be shown on your query result. Now I have get. Okay. In the first part, I explained with filter. Now the second one, I have get. I want to get the data where the primary key equals to 3. Then it will give you the result. What is your favorite pet? I want to get the result when the primary key equals to 1. Then I get the result where is neighbor. However, there is one query like this one. I want to get from the question text, it is the attribute name, and let's find the text with starts with what. Okay, this is the same with the statement in this part. Okay. But what happened here? It is error. Why? When we use get, okay, it is limited only to get one object. Okay. So if it is more than one, then it is error. You can see here, the more question multiple objects written. To get written more than one question. So it is not available. So it returns 2. There are 2 data where the question text start with what. So if it is more than one, then Django cannot return with the query get. So if you want to get those data, you need to use filter. Okay. So what is the difference? In the, if you use filter, when you use filter, you can get more than one data. If you use get function, you will get exactly one data. Okay. So you cannot get more than one. Now I have one query. Q equals to question object get pk equals to 1. So I want to get only the primary key equals to 1. So I will put all the data into the object Q, and then I would like to check whether Q was published recently. Do you know what is it? Was published recently. So we have a new model. We have a new model, and the models contain one more function, which is was published recently. And here there is a kind of condition. Return self-publication date is greater than or equal to time zone now minus the time delta days equals to 1. So I would like to know whether now minus 1 is lower than or greater than this publication date. So what is the publication date? If you check this one, the publication date of primary key 1 is April 5. So now minus 1. Now is April 11 minus 1 is 10. Okay. So this one is not in the range. So that's why it returns false. Okay. So you can get the functions from the model. You can define any things in the models, and you can just call based on the object that you define. So here I explain one more time the concept of get and filter. We use get to only read one data. When it finds more than one data, it shows errors. We use filter to read all data that satisfy the condition. If it finds more than one data, it shows all the data. So that's the difference between get and filter. Now we will do more things with this kind of query. Before we are doing with more examples, let's add some data in the choice. So you already have some data in the choice. Yeah, or we have one data. Please find the URL. So it is the answer when you have a question, where is neighbor? Then there's an answer. Please find the URL, and this is the URL. Now I would like to check the data. Q is again, let me just use Q is the objects from the primary key equals to 1. And then I would like to use choice set. It means I would like to call the table choice and then make it as a set for all the data. Now I have only one data. So it chooses this data. Okay. And if you check on the models, the previously we don't have this str. In the previous model, in the first time when we created this model, there is no str. This str means whenever you call the choice, it will return the attribute choice text. What is the choice text? The choice text is the answer. That's why you can see here. Please find the URL. If you want to get more things, let's say I would like to make a new data. In the choice table, I would like to create a new object. What is the object? The object contains of choice text equal to not much, and then we have additional attribute which is false, and I would like to start with 0, and I will put the URL with different information. Now I'm using HTTPS. So in the previous one, I used the HTTP. So if I create this one, then it will show the choice is using string, not much. And the details will be this one. So if you refresh, okay, with this data in the upper part, if you refresh this one, then you will see the new data, which is not much, and this is a new URL link. This is from the statement that you just wrote before. Now, if I have a new object, so let's say I create a new object with this example. So I want to create another answer, and the choice is I do not know. And there is a fourth attribute, and the attribute is 0, and the URL is using m.naver.com. So m, it is usually for the mobile. So let me give this information, and then if I reload this page, then you will see there is an I don't know, and then the URL m.naver.com. If I have another data that I want to create, here I want to create the choice text equal to just hacking, and then I only put the false equal to 0, and then I have another URL which is www.naver.com. Okay, then I will have another data. Okay, so adding the data with the console, you need to use the choice, what is the table name, and then set. Yeah, it means we are going to make it unique, and then you will create the object, and after you have the object, you need to define based on the attributes that you have in your table. In this case, I have 1, 2, 3. And this one is based on the Q. What is Q? Q is the object that I just created from the primary key 1. That's why for all these answers, they are related with the question ID equals to 1, because I already make this statement. Now, if I want to check the question, C.question, what does it mean? I will check the ID, or sorry, the question text from the table question. What is C here? C is an object that I create. Yeah, C is an object that I created from Q. So what is Q? Q is this one from the PK1. That's why the result is where is neighbor. And then if you want to check all the question, if you want to check all the answers that correlated with the PK equals to 1, then you will see all the answers. Please find the URL, not much, I do not know, and just check it. And if I want to know how many answers do I have until now, then you can use the Q, which is the question, is from the PK equals to 1, and then choice set is the table name choice, and I would like to use it as a set. And then count, I would like to count how many items that I have, and now I got 4. It means in this answers, in this question ID 1, there are 4 answers. You can do a lot of things with the print. For example, I would like to see the list. I would like to use the table choice, and then I would like to check the objects, and then I would like to make all the values as a list. So here is the list. 1, 1, please find the URL. 0, http www.never.com. 2, 1, it means this is the ID 2. It is based on the question ID 1, and this is the answer. 3, 1, it is the ID 3. It is from the question number 1, and this is the choice text, and this is the link, and this is the number of photos, and so on. 4, 1, just hacking, 0, never.com. This is how we can define all the data into a list. As you notice from other query language, they have function like order by. Order by means I want to sort. What do you want to sort? How do you want to sort the data? Let's say I want to sort based on the choice text. Here you have the please. You can see this one. Please find the URL, not much. I do not know, just hacking again. Then the first will be I. Okay. Based on the character, if I want to sort it, then I would like to sort based on the early character. The early character is I, and then J, and then N, and then P. Okay. So that's the result after I order by. So order by means I want to sort, and you can see what is the sorting. Oh, sorry. You can see what is the sorting criteria. Now you can get also the same like what we did on the question. So I want to get the ID equals to 4. So ID equals to 4 is just hacking again. Now I would like to update the data. I would like to update. So here I give the explanation. I want to modify the attribute ports into 5. As you can see here in the attribute 4, in the ID 4, the number of votes is 0. Okay, so I would like to update C, which is the choice ID equals to 4. I would like to make the votes equal to 5. Then after I have this votes equals to 5, don't forget to save. Okay, so I will do before save. Before I save it, if you refresh your database, the value is still 0. Okay, there will be no effect, even though you already put this statement. But if you do not save, it won't work. It will not save properly in your database. So if I press enter, and then if you refresh your database or if you reload it, then now the value becomes 5. Suppose I would like to get the ID equals to 4, and I would like to know only about the attribute votes, then you will get the value 5. And if I want to see all the attributes from the table choice, and I would like to order it based on votes, and I have minus. Do you know what is minus? It is in the reverse order, or it is from the biggest number to the smallest number. Or I can say, if we are doing with the sorting, we have two, ascending and descending. So ascending means from small to big. If descending, it is from big to small. Okay, so you can use minus to indicate descending. So the value will be from the big value to small value. What is the biggest value here? The biggest value is 5. Then it will show just hacking again at the first time. And what about the other? It will just follow the ID. Okay. So the ID1, the ID2, the ID3. Now, if I want to check the choice, table choice, and I would like to order by with two kind of attributes. I would like to order by the choice text if I found there are the same value of the choice text. Let's use the second attribute, which is votes. Okay. So this will be the first priority. This is the first priority and second priority. Okay, so this is the second priority. And you can also put comma. How many attributes you want to use to order by, that's also possible. And you can combine whether you want to use the minus or not. So if it is minus, then it will be descending. If it is no minus, then it will be ascending. I can also do with some kind of condition. For example, yeah, if this one, then I would like to again check based on the choice text. The choice text is the first, and then it will be selected based on the votes. So this one is I, J, and P. Yeah, it has no changes. Okay? There is no similar of the result. I can give conditions. So I can combine multiple query. I would like to combine filter and order by. So the filter, I want to check all the results when the votes equals to 0. And let's order by the choice text. Then you will see all the results are based on the votes equal to 0. And then this is ordered by the choice text. I do not know, not much, and find the URL. So there are other kind of variation to make this kind of query. Yeah, you can try with your later with your project. Okay? If you want to delete data, how to delete the data? Here, I give you one way to delete data with the object. So we can just choose what is the object that you want to delete. Let's say I want to choose the ID equals to 3. So I want to choose this one. I do not know. And I want this data deleted. Then you can put into one object like this one. For example, I have S. S is the object from the choice and the ID equals to 3. And then I can just call the delete function. After I have this result, so yeah, it will be deleted, and there will be a delete number 1 from the FAQ.choice. So you can get this one. You will have only 3 data. So you can refresh and 1 data has been deleted. And if you can see here, the ID is still remain the same. 1, 2, and 4. It will not be deleted. So this ID will be added because it is +1. It is incremental. Okay. Okay. Now let's suppose I want to make some changes. Okay. In this case, I'm going to make changes in the choice. I have in the models, I have question, choice text, quotes, and URL. Now let's suppose I have one more attribute and I forgot to design it. So I want to add this one, this slide. So in the DB schema in the choice models, I want to include this slide. Okay. Quotes means, yeah, if I like the answer, then I can increase. But if I'm the user and I do not like the answers, so I can press dislike. And dislike is an integer. And the default value is 0. Now, how should I do after I have this new schema? After I add this variable, let's make the migrations, and let's do migrate, and then yeah, you can check again. So first, after you do this one, then you will go to the you can choose either you go to the tools and then run manage py.task. If you use this one, then you can just call the make migration FAQ. But if you use the terminal, it means you will include those messages. Python manage.py make migration FAQ. Because I already have this one, then I can just call the make migrations FAQ. Okay. And you can see here it mentioned that there is one field added. Okay. Add field dislike to choice. And after you add this one, then you can do migrate. When you do the migrate, it will be added into the database and it will affect to your choice data. So here you will have one more table. Oh, sorry, one more column, dislike. Okay, so the new column has been set up, and you can check through the Python shell again. So what is, if you want to go to the Python shell, you can go to the console here. Again, you can call the models and import the question and choice. And then, yeah, you can have the choice objects all. You can see, yeah, all the data that you have. If you want to check all values, so you can have value list. Mm, okay, so if I check this value list, oh, okay, I think I need to stop the console. I need to start again with the shell. Okay. So with this, oh, sorry, with this one, you need to call the shell. Hmm? So I cannot value this. Yeah, with the values, we can see there is a new dislike here. Okay. So the new column that we just added has been shown here. I don't know what happened with this value list. Let me check later, please. Okay. Yeah, we already know how to make the model, and then we know what is the query. Okay. So tomorrow we will learn more how to put them into the web.